It's me in the neighborhood. Factz again in the neighborhood. I said I would be coming back with my testimony Tuesday. Giving a minute for someone to come in. Okay, I'm on here for a minute. Give time for somebody to come in, gather my thoughts. I like to go over my notes. When I was a child, I thought as a child. When I became a woman, I put away immature things. Good evening. Factz, it's Testimony Tuesday. And I'm back to do my short story. Giving at least 5 minutes to see if anyone else want to come in before I testify. Good evening, what's good? I'm Factz. It's Terrific Testimony Tuesday, and I was given like 5 minutes before some people come in. However, I think I'll start. Okay, so this story takes place in Atlanta, Georgia. This is a situationship and or relationship that I was in. So it takes place in Atlanta. I was single. Thank you. Good evening. Salute from Atlanta, Georgia. This is my Terrific Testimony Tuesday short story. Okay, as I was saying, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm gonna make this short. I was dating someone, courting someone, or should I say I had started dating someone, courting someone. I was single, mending my heart from a broken relationship, just cooling in my room, doing what I do to enjoy myself, looking at great movies, Well, long story short, my family had a Super Bowl party. They invited me to come out the room. I didn't know what their plan was. Come to find out, it was to connect me or hook me up with someone. So I met this individual. I must say the first red flag was, I guess they had, they was a little inebriated, but it was the Super Bowl. So, people was having drinks, people was smoking cigars or whatever. So I gave him a pass. And I actually, started conversating with him. He started conversating with me. I started conversating back. So in the midst of that, we got to know each other. He came in my life at a vulnerable time when I needed a friend. He started coming by, whatnot, asked me, do I need anything from the store, whatnot. He liked to go out. I used to like to go out. I had started staying in the house. He, my kids, they was gone for a couple days during the summer. So when he came back over, they were not there. He asked that I want to go out to dance. Cool, I'm not doing anything. But I was like, I got to get my hair together because I had been doing kind of natural hair. So he went and caught me some hair products. I did my hair, pressed it out of everything. My hair was beautiful. I caught me a nice outfit to put on, my earrings and all, all the shebang, whatever. We went out. We had a great time. I'm a dancer. He likes to dance or whatever. Brought me endless drinks, fed me good, all that good stuff. I got comfortable with him. We started spending time in the home. A couple of months later, a few months later, my family had already knew him. So if he went like a total stranger. So he started coming over to the house, spending time with me and my kids. I'm making this story a little faster than, a little faster than what it should be, but, breaking it down or whatever. I'm gonna get to the meat and potatoes of it though. So long story short, we got to know each other well. Eventually I got to know his children well. Thought they was co-parenting. Found out later on, hi, how you doing? Found out later on, it was not just co-parenting. I felt for him maybe after a year or two. Can't say when it was exactly. But by the time I knew it, it was too late. He was like a stepfather to my children. I was stepmother to his children. Before I asked for something, he had it for me, romanced me, all that. Anyways, so it got rough. I found out that he was married, and I found that in a very abused way. One day he came over my house with a ring on his finger, and I was like, what is that? And he was like, oh, this is nothing. And I was like, huh? What? So anyway, long story short, like a fool, I felt for it. We kept talking. I won't say I hold whole conversation with his wife, or I'm to this day, I'm not sure if they was married, engaged, broken off, separated. I don't know what they was. Anywho, the most important thing about this was, after us being together for a while, I basically was like over his house all the time. He was over my home all the time, the place that he was renting. And one day she decided, thank you for the light. One day she decided she wanted her husband back or whatnot. And first she would nitpick. She was like, yeah, my son said that you discipline him. And I was like, well, I've been around with him. I speak to you, speak to me. It's not like we don't know each other. And I was like, I wouldn't do anything to hurt your children, but yes, I discipline him. He was a very active little boy, and she knew this. So anyway, that was the first time I should have known someone right then. I went to the store. He went with his friend, supposedly. He disappeared. So long story short, I found out he was talking to her on the low. As time went on, she told him that if he wanted to see his kids, then he could not come around me anymore. I was like, okay, that's weird or whatever. So he would go and he would pick up his kids instead of him being over there all the time. like they used to do, he would go over there and see the kids, and then sometimes she would drop them off, but when she dropped them off, she didn't want them around me. So anyway, long story short, this may be like year 3. One day, she he had his kids and whatnot. He came back to where I was at the room where he was renting. I had my own place where I was living. He had his place where he was living, but I was over there like almost living there. And when I wasn't over there, he was over my home or whatever. So I'm sleeping good in my bed. The next day was a school day. So I'm sleeping really well. He supposedly took the kids home or whatever. And I hear a lot of noise at the door, some beating at the door. It just kept on going. So I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, because he got a key, but it's a lock to the door in the room I'm in. Pause. Got somebody coming in the door. Give me a minute. Okay, that was the part that I left out. Leading up to this, before there was a knock at the door and all of that, I kept getting somebody calling my phone, hanging up, playing on the phone, leaving voice messages. You know, it turned into harassment, right? So I kind of already knew who it was. So it got to the point to where I wasn't answering the phone anymore. My sister was answering the phone, and you know, she gave her a piece of her mind or whatever. And so one day she, you know, stated who she was, whatever, playing on the phone, whatnot. I was like, something wrong with this lady, whatever, right? So anyway, that's what I was saying. Bamped on the door. I didn't come to the door. I'm knocked out sleep. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm hearing things. So as I get up, I hear bloom, 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 bloom. This lady have kicked in the door. Yes, kicked in the door. So before I can get up good, I see her and her children. She got this wig. It's like tilting, like it's about to fall off. And she looked like she's enraged. I wasn't totally shocked, I must admit, because I used to have dreams and I'll see things before it happened. So just so happened, I kind of saw this coming, right? So I was ill prepared. I didn't have any, you know, weapon on me or anything sharp on me or whatnot. But when she kicked in the door, she had this big blade about, you know, something like Michael Myers may have. And I'm just like, and the kids, you know, they're kids. So one of them is saying, hey, by this time, my kids are awoke. They're awake. So they kind of sleeping. So they like, they don't know what's going on. So they say, hey, hello to the kids too. So one of the kids can speak. Of course, they kids, you know. So anyway, I was like, and she was like, yeah, where he at? Where he at? And I was like, he went to the store. So there's this little hallway, like in the middle, like the size of, like, I would say a table, whatnot. But it was enough room to have like a sofa right there, right? So she called her kids and they went and sat on the sofa. No, hold up, before that. She looked around the room and she looked up under the bed and she looked in the closet. And I'm like, this lady is crazy. I'm not saying anything. While she's saying this, I'm getting dressed because I have on like, probably like a long shirt, something like that. Some putting on my shoes or whatever like that. Get my church and jacket, whatever they may have with them. The little small stuff, whatnot. Hey, I'm on the phone. I'm on the live. So as we get dressed, she said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm like, good luck with that. Now, no matter, do what you want to do. That's what I'm thinking to myself. So We get ready to leave out, so we go to the door. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how would she get in this house? 2 and 2 is 4. So the uncle had to let her in now. And I'm thinking to myself, this lady could have really hurt me or my children. The whole time I'm thinking his uncle is super cool. I don't cook at his house. I don't buy groceries for everybody. We don't just kicked it over there like kicked it. Like a juke joint in the front. And in the back it's more like a whole nother restroom in the back. Like it's a rooming space. This is a house that he was upgrading or whatever. But he was living there while, he upgraded whatever. So I'm not saying that to no uncle or anything. I'm 38 hot, really. Because what if this lady would have really hurt me? You know what I'm saying? But I have a full armor of God. I had already prayed and everything. And like I said, I had already saw this coming. So when she kicked that door, and it had a bolt lock on it. So she had to really been, kicking it. So it had a bolt lock on it. So anyway, long story short, I'm going out the door. All she really said to me, because I was humble, I went out the door, got my kids, went out the door. So as we're going out the door, it's a small little porch or whatever, and it's a little screen door right here. So we going out the door, got my kids out in front of me, of course, just in case she's all the way loco. So she's like, excuse me, we got like 10 steps, because I stayed like around the corner and up the hill from the house. So she's like, excuse me. I'm like, yeah, what, Tanya? And she's like, I just want to tell you, I know I didn't want my husband at first. But I want my husband back. I want my family back. And if you was in the county woman, you would step aside. I say, well, you know what? No problem. I said, because, see, that's why I was single when I got your husband. I said, because I've been through enough with guys that are no good. And per my kid's father, I don't want any of this around my children. I said, but you said if I was any kind of woman, I said, we're not saying step aside anymore. It's called fall back. And I've been asked your husband, did he want me to fall back? And I told him to put you on the phone. But you said you didn't want your husband. But I guess now, since it seemed like things was going, good or whatever, I just walked off. I didn't even continue to talk to her. But in my mind, I'm like, she thought it was going to be a fly-by-night thing. We ended up together 3 years. I should have did my homework, but he was a liar as well. He never told me he was married. And like, lady, what kind of lady are you that someone's with your husband for 2.5 years before they even find out that he's married to you? And that's not even the worst part of it. The worst part of it is one day we went to someone's house for a dinner. I was talking to one young lady. I came into the front room. The guys was mostly in the room. So, do you know, they called me to tell me he want me. So I'm like, he can come out here, but he wanted me to come in front of them. So when I went in there, this man got on his knees with a ring and proposed to me while he was married. The whole time I didn't know it. Me being so in love, I still was talking to the dude. So when that lady did that, when she drawed that big blade on me, that was a wake-up call for me. That let me know that don't take things like that lightly. Although I take it lightly and I may, move on. Some people are really, really serious about their man, about their woman, about whatever. They're serious. And in the midst of all this, while she was calling my phone, she called my auntie phone at the house. She called and asked the operator to push her through. And when the operator pushed her through, she had the kids saying, I want my daddy. I was like, this lady is really really touched. So, anywho, I don't know whatever happened to the lady. Me and him talked 1 or 2 more times after that. I missed a call, he missed a call, and I just knew then throw it out the window, throw it out the window, throw it in the damn window, throw it into the window, out the window, over with. But that's my testimony Tuesday. And that's one of the reasons that I'm stronger to this day. Because I know men will play games. They will put you in danger. And don't even let me talk about the what I went through per trying to think I can save a person or him. I have never in my life had to put someone in a tub in running water to bring them back, thinking that there was going to be out of here. That's what he took me through. That was one red flag that I should have known to leave it alone. But her and that blade, I have never seen that like that in my life. I was like, these people are really, really willing to not just put hands on you, put blades on you for my man. She could have been in that show. So anyway, that's my testimony Tuesday. I said I was going to come back on here. I have more stories, but that's just one of the crazy stories. And that's why I'm at peace with not having a ring. I'll be 50 this year, and per the drama, the stress, could have, lost my freedom because I don't know if I would have prepared myself. Who knows if I would have did something towards her, but the Lord had already showed me to just let it go and walk away. And that's what I did. And thank God, wasn't a whole lot to lose because I had all my kids already before that relationship. But that was my testimony Tuesday. And if you want to hear more stories on Tuesdays, just connect with me. Check out my content. This is just one of the things I do is tell stories. I focus on mental health awareness. I write poetry. I do karaoke. I speak on missing and exploited children. I don't have a niche. Whatever God directed me to do is what I do. And this is probably like my second or third time telling this story. So I kind of broke it down. And it wasn't very, it was just a story. I didn't enhance it. I did cut it down because it was a lot of middles in there. But I will say this, narcotics is a powerful thing. Drinks and cigars can be a powerful thing. And I did not realize that he had all of that going on. And fast money, he had that going on. And that's something I had promised myself I would never do again, is get with someone that make fast money. And I had probably 5 years on him. I never really dated anyone younger than me. I always dated older guys. So, yeah, crazy work. But I thank you for the likes. I thank you all who listen to my story. Do you have a story? It's worth hearing. And what made me think about this story was the Romika Meeks story. People really will try to take you out of here for a man or a woman. And the sad part about it is some of the people you dating, they could be setting you up. They can know how dangerous these people are. I had one guy that tried to date me. He came to visit me and he told me, he said, yeah, my wife, she might come up here and kick you. I said, what? I said, I didn't know you was married. When I tell you I pushed that man out my door so quick. I say, I don't play. I say, it's not even about being scared. It's about respect. First of all, if you would have told me about her. Secondly, why put myself in a situation so I have to deal with anything like that or share anybody? Never think that you have to share anyone. Me personally, I feel like loving yourself is the greatest love of all. And with so much going on in this world, there is nothing wrong with being celibate. I don't know who I'm talking to. Tell a friend, tell a child, tell a niece, Anybody that you think may need to hear this, please let them know. Because people can be dangerous, and I don't know about anybody else, but my time here is valuable. And you can't walk in your purpose being distracted by messy things and messy people. So be safe out there, love on yourself, and stay alert. Watch as well as pray. And yeah, I can laugh at it now. Now it is so funny. Like sometimes I just see her kicking that door in with that wig going one way, and the only thing that makes me almost cry is the fact that her kids was right there. And then let me tell you this: I found out later on the reason why her wig was all unadjusted and all that. This lady car broke down, and she had walked some miles to get to that house. So I guess that's why she had all that energy to kick in the door and pull out that blade on me, because she was so pissed off. And her car probably wouldn't even broke down if she would have stayed at home. But maybe, just maybe, she wanted to come and tell me that he was still messing with her and he wasn't telling me. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of strange thing they had going on, but I love me better than that. And you just simply said you gotta love you better than that. Sometimes I wonder how they end up, but I don't miss him. I don't. Because I realized that he was just a chapter in my life that was meant to help me grow. And I grow from that. And I'm okay. If I don't ever get married at 50, I will be okay. Spend more time loving yourself and loving the Lord. Thank you all for listening. If you missed the story, catch the replay on Factz. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And you can catch some of my old content on TikTok. I'm not on there anymore. Give me a like if you like my content. Check out some of my poetry. I would say a short poem, but all of it is already my content. I did a poem earlier today. But I am a poet. I like to do karaoke. And, just check me out. And if you connect with me, I will connect with you. Have a blessed day. And like I said, watch as well as pray. That's my time. Factz. I'm out.